Let's really talk about something that there seems to be, like, with the changing of the guard, more so than ever. It seems to be a bit of fucking like Budden represents the old school rap, or like the spitters, and then now you got the Migoses and the mumble rap cats, and there seems to be a bit of fucking like little tension between these two camps.
I think that's consistent, right? Like, I don't know if that's necessarily a new thing. Look, Budden definitely is the quote unquote old head voice on Everyday Struggle. One of the older head voices in the media. For the most part, he's kind of new to this platform. People don't necessarily remember everything he did on Sirius XM. I think he had a show back in the day. He has his own podcast now. But this is probably the biggest media Joe Budden look that we've seen. And everything else has just been killer MC Joe Budden. Yeah. Right? So now he's in a position where he has to ask questions to these rappers who are coming up in this era that doesn't get credit for being MCs, who seem to throw all the covenants of what it means to hold that microphone and hold down an audience in the trash can. And so he's approaching them that way, and I actually kind of think that's a good thing.
I like that too.
I think that's a good thing. And I don't think it's great when everyone, any guest on any show gets their balls tickled just because they've got fans and people are afraid that, they'll lose audience. A lot of times in the media, what you see is a lot of publications kind of hoping these celebrities retweet them so they can get some page views or something like that.
Yeah.
And so that leads to very shallow conversation. And a lot of times you don't get to know anything about the artist, and now the fans of that artist don't get anything new, and they really don't want to deal with the publication in the first place. I think with this changing of a guard that you mentioned, the thing that's so important about it is that these conversations are happening at once, and everyone gets a chance to participate. And that's one thing I like about it. I like old heads being able to watch this and have an opinion in the discussion. I like young cats being able to watch this and have an opinion in discussion. I like everybody being able to get back into the cipher from a hip-hop fan standpoint and actually get back to talking about the pros and the cons of the culture at the same time, as opposed to just everybody's on this over here, old heads over here not even on the internet, and young cats over here not even looking at CDs. This is more interesting to me.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. And it seems, with I'm not familiar with Academic's work, but like if he likes the new shit and Budden like the old shit, I think that's a nice balance. You know what I mean? Like, everybody's being represented.
Right.
And so like 15 years ago, man, the term hater really started dropping, and you weren't even allowed to diss shit that you thought was whack because they're like, oh, you a hater. It's like, nah, bitch, I'm a truther. That shit is whack to me. Like I'm allowed to not like that shit.
Right.
So it's cool to see Budden being like, yo, dude, I don't fuck with that shit. Or I don't even know if he said he doesn't fuck with Migos.
Budden's getting better on the show. Budden was a hater at the beginning because he would talk junk about stuff he didn't know about.
Right.
Anybody's talking junk about stuff they're completely uninformed about, they're haters. So it's one thing to be like, I'm an old head, I don't fuck with any of this new stuff just because it's new and young and I don't care about it. That's kind of some hater stuff.
Yeah.
In this sense, I mean, they're more informed about each other's generations because academics, they did a episode one time and he knew nothing about female MCs. So I think he's learning about things that came before his time as well. Once they get to the point where they're both doing the research at the same level for their conversations, I think, there's something that's going to happen here. But away from this show in general, there needs to be more things like this.
I don't think there was like, Kool Mo D wasn't mad at Raekwon. You know what I mean? Like, it just, I don't think that the changing of the guard was, like, I don't think it was like that back in the day. I don't, maybe like, the old school rappers felt dismissed because they rap wasn't as popular then, they weren't getting the credit, but I don't think they were like, this motherfucker can't spit.
There's some examples, right? You've got Tupac, De La Soul, right? And that wasn't necessarily because someone wasn't talented or
but
not.
Those guys were fans of each other.
They were until Pac thought that De La
that was a misunderstanding. And
okay.
Pac and De La came out in the De La was 88.
87, 88 by the time they got a record.
And Pac was 4 years later, dude.
That's still pretty.
That's not Budden to Migos.
Okay, well, I'm not
you know
sure.
What I mean?
Okay, well, then you're right. I'm not sure what Melly Mel might have thought of.
That's what I'm
what
like.
I'm saying.
That is a clear distinction.
But we also don't have social media. Like Merz made a great point in the conversation we have. We have no idea what what Melly Mel and those cats thought about Run DMC. Like those cats used to wear the craziest outfits on stage ever. They had leather, and their stage presence was wild and stuff, looking like Kiss without the face paint. Run DMC came out with regular clothes on and shell toes. They might have been upset that people didn't put as much care into their appearance. We don't really know because we didn't have social media and everything wasn't documented to the degree it is now. But I can't say necessarily that wasn't the case. And when we do get closer to more modern times, when you get from like 85, 86, 87, and 88 to the early 90s, we do have examples of there being tension, even if it's not necessarily the same number of years between. Because I definitely don't think about Pac as part of the same generation as I think about De La on the same scale. Even though they're close, I just tend not to think about them reflexively like that.
I don't know. I do. I think Pac and De La were contemporaries, and they're dropping fucking dope albums at the same time. And the sound wasn't that much different. They were on different vibes, but like the sound between these dudes and
the sound between Pac and De La it wasn't night and day if we're going to say it's like
they're both lyricists. We could they're both dope lyricists.
Fair enough.
You know what I mean?
Fair enough.
They both released 5 mic albums.
Budden still puts. I mean, hasn't been that long since Budden's put out music though. For example, like Budden's put out music while Migos has put out music. But you really think that? I don't know, bro. I think the different. Yeah, I'm not sure how much of this is generational either. I think this might even be. I mean, this is there's definitely a generational connection thing, regional and sound, and that's really where the De La Pac stuff was. Like that's where Cube and Common was. Once gangster rap came out and became popular, there was a lot of conscious Daisy Age MCs who didn't like the idea that gangster rap was now winning. Yeah. And so there was definitely friction on either from a regional standpoint or a subgenre standpoint.
I feel like there's a bigger gap between these two sounds than the sounds that we're comparing from the 90s. That's all.
Maybe the sounds, but the messages are still the message between those two, or at least the conveying of those messages. The words used in those messages, pretty big gap.
888-742-3345, 888-742-3345. Let's go to Ben in Cincinnati. Go ahead, Ben.
Yo, what's up, Jude? I do not fuck with Joe Budden. That guy is a fucking leech. He's only fucking beefing with these rappers that have fucking clout. Like Drake last year, that's the only time I heard that motherfucker. Beefing with Drake. Now he's beefing with Yachty and beefing with Migos. He's fucking trying to ride their wave and stay relevant. I never heard that motherfucker before he started beefing with Drake. And I mean, I don't really fuck with the mumble rappers and stuff, but this guy is a fucking old bitch. Like, that's all he fucking does is just tearing other fucking rappers that actually are fucking good, and he's a little bitch. I fucking hate Joe Budden. He's just grumpy as hell.
How long you been listening to rap for you to not know Joe Budden?
Bruh, I'm a fucking 19-year-old. I don't know Joe Budden.
All right. Okay. There you go. I think it is generational, bro.
That's fair.
It's generational. We're old motherfuckers talking on this shit, but like, you just heard it from a 19-year-old. You just heard it from the mouths of babes. The 19-year-old never heard of the dude until he fucking dissed Drake, and I'm like, yeah, this guy's got
right.
He's been doing his thing for a while.
There's definitely a generational piece to this. I don't think that is necessarily strictly generational though. Like for example, if Migos was action, if Migos rapped like Action Bronson, right? I think that there might still be tension if Joe Budden handled an interview with his homie in the same way. I think that I don't necessarily think that it's just strictly the fact that there's old sounds and new sounds. I think it's the distance between what those two sounds are.
Let's go to D-Rock.
Yo.
What up, though? Go ahead,
Am
man.
I on?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. I couldn't. Yeah. I got a static. Yo, man, I had the complete opposite point of view. Is like, fuck Migos, man. All these young kids, you know what? I don't even want to sound like a hater, but like,
man, come on.
I think Joe is just keeping it real. Like, these new fucking mumble raps, they come on, and just because they make hit records on the radio, people equate that with talent. Like, yo, Joe Budden and Drake. Joe Budden washed Drake on those diss records. Like, have you ever listened to that shit?
People act like Joe's just some grumpy old dude, but he's co-signed by Eminem. Get the fuck out of here, man. That last caller.
He did wax him. I agree with that call. I agree with that point, man. Joe Budden served him.
Yeah, let's.
It's a shame more people didn't hear those songs.
887-423-345. We got Scott in Canada. Go ahead, Scott.
Yo, what up, Jude? What up, Justin? Big fan of both of you. Anyway,
What
up? I'm a huge Joe Budden stan. You have to look at both sides. Joe Budden, as much as people hate to say, like, the dude is a cultural icon for what he did to hip-hop with Joe Budden TV, hosting radio, doing Everyday Struggle. Like, fuck, I watch his podcast. Like, dude he's knowledgeable. And unfortunately, like the first caller, they don't know him. They never heard of Joe Budden. They know Pump It Up. They know what happened with Drake. They don't know the rest of the story. They don't know mood music. They don't know the albums. They probably don't even know fucking Slaughterhouse. Like, there's a disconnect. And he is very aggressive in how he talks. Can't argue that. But he makes the correct point. He means well.
To his point, Joe Budden has created enough dope shit to fucking tell people he doesn't like their shit, and it holds a bit more weight than me, some motherfucker that never made a fucking song. You know what I mean? Like, that's so. To his point,
Look, Joe Budden's had 3 projects since 2013. No Love Lost, All Love Lost, Rage, and The Machine, right? Migos was putting out music at that time. They're contemporaries. A lot of these young mumble rappers we complain about, but it's not like Budden is some guy in the corner who hasn't made a mixtape since 95, 2007.
And you're not even counting the Slaughterhouse shit either. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, so yeah, it's. But I don't even think that's the point. The point is that Joe Budden is making shit that is fucking people are buying, and it's quality. So if he wants, I think his opinion means more than my opinion when it comes to music.
Right.
That's all. Yeah. That's all. And I think my opinion's more than other people's opinion because I'm a creator too. You know, like.
It's one thing to criticize rap when you've never rapped or never tried to write a bar. I tend to value those opinions less.
All right, I don't know if this is Q-Tip or not, but he says he's Q-Tip. Ask him when his birthday is. We'll fucking vet him before you tell me. These motherfuckers, dude. All right, Ty in Kentucky. Go ahead, Ty.
Yeah, man. Okay. I'm 39, man. I went from old school rap to new school rap. Man, I like E40, I like Tupac, I like De La Soul, I like The Roots, I like Trick Daddy, Coast to Coast. Good rap is good rap. People's name, these OGs, man, got a problem to me with accepting the new what's coming. You can call it mumble, you can call it whatever. Migos is good. The guys been in the studio making 50, 60 songs a week, and they just ain't made it off the radio. But Joe Budden, you made it off the radio, too, with Pump, Pump, Pump It Up. After that, you didn't have a hit for 10 years. If it wasn't for Slim Shady them, you wouldn't be nothing now. You're irrelevant, dude. He rides waves, and to me, he's washed up. If you put it heads up to Migos, Migos got more hit songs than he did. And he's been making music for 15, 20 years. You know, it's washed up. If you put
all right, look, man, Migos does have more commercial success.
Yes.
I don't think that is the debate. You know, Migos does have more commercial success. It's just, what do you value?
Yeah,
but
I'll keep
can I say something?
Go ahead,
When
jump in there.
People get successful. Why in rap, when people get commercial successful, it's almost like a failure. You know what I'm saying? Don't you start rapping so you get big as hell, so you can get everybody out of the hood and don't have problems, don't have the problems that you grew up with having for your kids and your homies and shit? You know, why does it come to a point when you got commercial, you get more money, it's fucked you up in a rap? Like, you fucked up now because you're known now.
You know why, Ty? Ty, I think that's a carryover from back in the day because hip hop was a subculture back in the fucking day, and for you to get successful, that means you had to create a sound that was appealing to the very groups
Match.
that you didn't fucking associate with, and then your base group would fucking reject you.
I also think the messaging is part of that too. Like, I don't see people getting mad that J. Cole's got commercial success. I don't see anybody mad at Chance the Rapper's commercial success.
Some people have better publicists though.
I mean, I think some people are saying more relevant things.
Are you saying that
I say if you
are you
blow
saying
up,
that
if you-
Migos
if-
isn't
I'm
saying
if you-
relevant shit?
I'm saying on the commercial singles that you hear from people, generally speaking, it is tropes and distractions. Like, you just hear if everybody's blowing up off party songs all the time, yeah, no, it's not something that's terribly nuanced or something that's terribly different than what everyone else is doing. And people generally inherently think about hip hop as something that has a center to it or is grounded to a degree.
All right, let's play a song, come back, finish up with these calls. 888-742-3345. 888-742-3345. All right, man, we're back. We was talking BET Awards. It seems like it was like 50-50 on the Joe Budden shit. Like, half the people were with him, half the people were against him. Just to tie it up, it's really tough when shitty things happen off camera, and then it gets squashed on camera, and sometimes you look like the petty one when you might be justified.
Has that happened to you? Have you had a situation like that?
Yeah, it's like someone fucking disses you, or they don't. Someone fucking slights you out on the street, and then you bomb on, like, you just fucking go in on these cats, and everyone's like, whoa, where the fuck did that come from? Then you're issuing a sorry about that, I lost my,
Right. And now you look like the petty one.
Yeah, you look like a petty asshole for a react. It's like basketball, They might be tugging on your on your jersey, elbowing you and shit, and then you get mad, you fucking punch them, and they call foul. Like, it's the same fucking deal.
Dennis Rodman was great at putting people in those situations back in the day.